Another year, another video talking about objectives. This is just a running common theme now of an EA Sports game every single year where we talk about objectives. I'm not even kidding, guys. You play NHL, you play Madden, you play any of the other EA Sports games, you are lucky because you don't have this one dumbass thing in the game that is infuriating. Now, I've been sat for a while and I've been thinking of ways to make this video where we try and do it in a positive spin. Now, I am aware that EA aren't just going to drop objectives. They're in, they like them, they keep them around. So I don't think there's going to be an option where we can turn them off. And I don't think there's going to be an option where they just obliterate this idea and forget that it ever existed because it's made my life a living hell when it comes to trying to do any rebuild. So I have tried to come up with a way that we make objectives just better. Now, if you don't already know, objectives suck in EA Sports games. If you didn't know that, now you do know. Now, we're just going to quickly go through why they suck. I've just won the Champions League with Tottenham Hotspur. Spoiler, if you haven't seen the series, I'm sorry, but it's been out for a while. And I've just won the Champions League with that team, and my manager popularity is weak. It is the bloody Champions League, but there's a reason behind it. And that's because we've only our second season back in the Champions League. The board wanted a bloody treble. Yes, a treble. In only a treble. Just, can you ever imagine any board going up to a manager and being like, win everything, please? In the hardest league in the world, in the hardest European competition you could ever imagine, win it all or you're gone, all right? It is insane that this would ever be what a board would ask for. On top of that, they want us to get 5 wins in cup matches. Well, no brainer. They want us to win every cup, so we definitely get more than 5 wins. So those two objectives right there don't really correlate to each other. And then sign 2 young players. I don't mind that. I don't mind the sign. I don't get what brand exposure. How can you just please explain to me that signing 2 young players is going to boost our brand? Now, as a philosophy, signing 2 young players wouldn't be too bad, but in terms of boosting our brand, it does nothing. So that's stupid as well. But look, look, they're all dumb. That most of them are always dumb. Like this. Increase the club's worth by 15% through player sales and competition prize money reward. Now, obviously, you're only going to do this from competition money because they want us to win the treble. So we're not going to sell players, are we, to raise funds? But there's no way to track this. There's no moniker or way to track this because you're given such little data and information statistically in the game that financially it's very difficult to track it or know whether you're on track with it. People message me about the financial objectives daily, and I completely get it. They're dumb, but not as dumb as the rest. Look, this isn't the video for this. We're not just going to crap on the objectives, although I have done for the first 4 minutes of this video. It's not the video for that. This is the video where I put forward how you could improve objectives in the future. Since I don't think they're going anywhere, how do we make these better? And I think, potentially, as you now join me with Football Manager, the best way to improve them is to do something like Football Manager has done. As I just move down here, this is how Football Manager does it. And to be honest, look, it's not exact perfect science. There's always going to be bugs. There's always going to be issues. But this is a lot more foolproof. And you'll instantly notice one thing that is really good about how Football Manager do it. And it's the fact that not everything is set in stone. You have desired, required, and preferred. And then obviously at the bottom, not important. So like the Carabao Cup, they don't care about it. So it's not important. Reach the latter stages of the FA Cup, desired. But it says reach the latter stages. It doesn't pinpoint exactly where they want you to finish. So it gives you some leeway. We need this. Qualify for the Champions League. Yeah, we'd prefer you to do that. We'd really like it if you could do that. But if you don't, we don't hate you. We're not just going to sack you. We just would like you to try and achieve that goal. That's something on the horizon you should be thinking about with this team. And then not just that. This is just their plan in terms of what they want us to do in competitions. It's broken down quite well. Because then like FC24, they've got their things, right? They've got, you know, the youth development, the brand exposure, all of them. In this, you have basically like a club's ethos, their culture, what they want to cultivate, how they want the team to be built, how they want to be perceived. And I like this. They don't want old players. It's desired. They want that. They want young players. That is also desired. It is required that we use the youth academy. It doesn't mean you have to have a certain number of youth players, but use it. We want to see these young players coming through. We want to develop our own talent. I can now deduct from these objectives without feeling like I'm going to be sacked for not being the greatest manager in the world, how they want me to build this team. The rough guidelines of how I should be going about it. They want youth. Yeah, you can have a few older players, but don't offer them more than 2 years. We don't want to be putting in long-term efforts to those older players. I'm not saying that Football Manager I've cracked the code and that this is perfect every time. It's not. I've played a lot of Football Manager. If you've played a lot of Football Manager, it's not perfect all the time, but I tell you what it is. It is a billion times better than what we already have on FC24. So it can be done. This can be done. It is achievable. Yes, 2 very different games apart from they revolve around football, but it can be done. And the sheer laziness and just they've never fixed them. Objectives have been the same since they came into the game. They have stayed the same. Nothing has changed apart from some flashy cutscenes. I'm reaching the end of my tether with EA Sports and career mode. Like, just chuck us a bone. We're here in the corner, the career mode community, be like, please just give us anything. And just year after year of nothing. That, yes, the new training in this year's game is good. Yeah, it should have been good already. Like, oh, it's infuriating. I could rant about this for days because I do a lot of content around this game and I'm passionate about it. I don't want to just slate the game. I want the game to be better. But that's it. That's how I think you could improve objectives. And a clear example of a company that has done an objective style basis so that you have a board to work around. And it does bring the board to life, having the objectives in the game. It does. They're just god-awful, and they are the same. No matter what team you are, when you reach a certain stage, it's win everything. It's when you're managing in League 2 and they want you to reach the round of 16 in the FA Cup. What even is that? Objectives, objectively speaking, are absolutely horrendous. And probably the worst feature in career mode because it can ruin your save. You can't just ignore it. The training before, you could ignore it. Other elements of the game that have been bad, you can normally ignore it. You can't ignore the objectives because you'll get sacked and it ruins your entire save. So, any suggestions that you think down below of how they improve the objectives? Because again, I don't think these are going anywhere. So it's how we improve them for years down the line. I'm already speaking to people and they're stopping playing the game already. It's not even Christmas. It's not even Christmas, and people are already putting the game down and saying, I'm done for the year. That is worrying. I appreciate you all. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. I'm sorry it was a little bit ranty, but we needed to get this one off the chest. I appreciate you. I'll see you for the next video on the channel.